From Stuck to Unstoppable, Break Through Mental Barriers to Success. Written and published by Sonic Digest. In the quiet moments before dawn, as the world around is cloaked in shadows, there exists an unspoken tension, the stir of possibility. It lies in that first breath when you wake, poised between the comfort of the known and the call of the unexplored. It is in that space, fragile yet potent, where true transformation takes root. Most never reach it. They pull the covers tighter and surrender to the inertia of routine. But for those who dare to step beyond, who dare to leave behind the security of what has always been, the world becomes a canvas ready for bold strokes. The desire to live without limits emerges not from a simple wish for more, but from an unwavering call to challenge the status quo of our inner worlds. It whispers to us in quiet moments of doubt and in the roar of uncertainty. It speaks of a life where greatness is not confined to grand achievements, but is woven through the audacious choices made when no one else is watching. It is about seeing the world not as a series of obstacles, but as a series of uncharted opportunities, waiting to be seized by those willing to defy their own boundaries. To rise beyond limits requires an inner tenacity that thrives on resilience, one that sees setbacks as precursors to growth, not as defeats. It demands an embrace of discomfort, not as an unwelcome guest, but as the companion that shapes the strongest steel. In those moments of struggle, where it feels easier to yield, there exists the crucible that forges the courage to keep moving, step after relentless step. Yet, the journey does not unfold in isolation. The greatest stories are not born from singular efforts, but from the collective pulse of those who challenge, collaborate, and push each other further. It is the silent exchange of ideas, the quiet nod of understanding, and the roar of shared victory that propels us forward. In this dynamic ecosystem, true progress becomes a community affair, where each individual's leap becomes part of a larger movement, lifting others to places they never believed possible. The choice to live unstoppable is a declaration, a decision that the ordinary will not suffice, and that true potential lies just beyond the veil of comfort. It is to decide that while fear will always be a presence, it does not need to be a prison. It is to understand that when you look at yourself in the mirror, the reflection staring back is not defined by past failures, but by the quiet but resolute determination to keep pushing forward. It is a silent revolution, one that calls not just for action, but for audacity, for seeing beyond what is visible and reaching for what the heart knows is possible. In the stillness before the first light, where everything is yet to be written, there is a moment of choice. A moment where the decision to rise, to challenge, and to live boundlessly begins to shape not just your destiny, but the world around you. Chapter 1. The roadblocks we face. Every journey towards success is met with obstacles that test our resolve and commitment. These roadblocks can take many forms, internal and external, visible and hidden, each carrying its own weight and challenge. The path to achieving one's potential is often tangled with doubts, fears, and circumstances that seem to conspire against progress. It is not just the difficulties we face, but the way we choose to perceive and respond to them that shapes our destiny. Among the most insidious roadblocks are those that lie within us. Self-doubt, rooted in the fear of failure, breeds hesitation and indecision. It whispers doubts that are loud enough to paralyze even the most determined individual. This internal resistance manifests as negative self-talk, which chips away at confidence and clouds judgment. It is the subtle voice that says, "You're not good enough," or "You're bound to fail," stopping progress before it begins. Overcoming this requires a deliberate shift in mindset, a decision to challenge these limiting beliefs, by reprogramming our thoughts with resilience and self-assurance. Fear is another formidable opponent. It can take the form of the fear of the unknown or the fear of stepping outside comfort zones. Often we cling to what is familiar, even if it is not serving us, because it feels safe. Yet, growth lies beyond comfort. When faced with the unknown, the instinct is to retreat and stick to the status quo. Breaking through this barrier means embracing discomfort, understanding that each step outside familiar territory is a step toward mastery. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act in spite of it. External obstacles can be just as challenging, presenting themselves as financial constraints, societal expectations, or limited resources. These are not just practical barriers, but often come with the added weight of social judgment. People may impose their opinions, consciously or unconsciously, projecting their own limitations onto us. To break free from these external constraints, one must cultivate an unwavering commitment to one's vision and seek out solutions that defy the conventional. This often involves networking with like-minded individuals, seeking mentorship, or learning to leverage resources more effectively. Procrastination, a seemingly innocuous habit, can derail even the most ambitious of plans. It masks itself as rationalization, telling us that now is not the right time or that we need more information before we act. Yet it is often a symptom of deeper issues: fear of failure, perfectionism, or a lack of motivation. To combat procrastination, it is essential to break tasks down into smaller, manageable actions and set deadlines. Progress is built through consistent action, not in grand leaps. The weight of past experiences can also impede progress. Memories of past failures can become a prison, convincing us that future efforts will end the same way. However, growth hinges on seeing past failures not as definitive proof of incapability, but as valuable lessons that refine our approach. Every setback holds the seed of a greater lesson, an opportunity to refine, adapt, and emerge stronger. To transcend past limitations, we must shift our mindset to view mistakes as data points that inform our strategy rather than as permanent marks against our potential. A significant external roadblock is the overwhelming noise of modern life, constant information, endless digital engagement, and the pressure of multitasking. These distractions pull attention away from meaningful pursuits and dilute focus. It becomes necessary to reclaim time by establishing boundaries, setting priorities, and practicing mindfulness. In doing so, one begins to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important, channeling energy into efforts that align with long-term aspirations. Real transformation often calls for the patience to endure hardships that do not yield immediate rewards. It demands the discipline to remain committed when progress seems slow or imperceptible. The true test is not whether we face obstacles, but whether we have the determination to push forward when the road becomes treacherous. Every challenge carries the potential for growth, teaching us more about our capacity to overcome, adapt, and evolve. It is through these roadblocks that we forge the character and resolve that define lasting success. It is essential to recognize that these obstacles, no matter how significant, are not insurmountable. The key lies in understanding that each challenge can be met with the right strategies, mindset, and actions. By embracing the journey with resilience and seeking the lessons within each roadblock, we can transform them from barriers to stepping stones, propelling us toward our highest potential. Chapter 2. The Turning Point of Change. Change is a force that sweeps through life, often appearing as an uninvited guest, shaking up the familiar and unsettling the status quo. The turning point of change is not always a dramatic moment, but can be a subtle shift, an inner awakening that compels us to move forward with renewed purpose. It is at this juncture that we find ourselves standing between who we were and who we are meant to become. It is not just a moment, but an evolution that paves the way for growth, forcing us to confront who we are and what we truly seek. The first signal of change is often discomfort. When the familiar becomes suffocating or insufficient, it signals that the old ways can no longer serve us. This unease can present itself as restlessness, dissatisfaction, or even fear of the unknown. Yet within this disquiet lies the seed of transformation. To embrace change, one must cultivate the courage to face the unknown, recognizing that true growth resides beyond comfort zones. At the heart of change lies the willingness to break free from past limitations. This requires more than just willpower. It demands a shift in perspective. Embracing change means seeing failure not as an end, but as a lesson, an essential part of the learning process. The decision to pursue change despite the uncertainty is an act of defiance against stagnation. It is choosing to engage with the potential within rather than resigning to what is. True transformation often begins when we decide to accept responsibility for our own journey. Blame and excuses may temporarily shield us from accountability, but they only prolong the cycle of inaction. When we take ownership, we empower ourselves to take control of our destiny. This step involves acknowledging past mistakes and learning from them, turning them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. There is a moment when we reach the tipping point, a decisive moment when the weight of staying the same becomes heavier than the effort required to change. It is often accompanied by a surge of determination, a realization that the cost of inaction is greater than the risk of moving forward. This realization becomes the fuel that propels us toward new paths, challenging old beliefs and habits. It is a mental shift that positions us to act with purpose and clarity, even in the face of uncertainty. The turning point is also marked by a change in how we approach challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, we begin to view them as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. The world around us may not change overnight, but our response to it does. We learn to adapt, finding strength in flexibility and resilience. The ability to respond constructively to setbacks is not a sign of passivity, but an indication of our inner strength. Embracing change means breaking free from the illusion of certainty. The mind craves predictability, but true progress demands embracing the unknown and stepping into the realm of possibility. This process requires faith in ourselves and in the path ahead. As we walk this path, we may encounter moments of doubt, but the resolve to persevere transforms these moments into milestones. To navigate change, we must align ourselves with our deepest values and goals. When the foundation of change is built on purpose, it becomes sustainable. The clarity of purpose provides the direction needed to push forward even when the path is unclear. It is the anchor that keeps us steady when external circumstances are turbulent. Purpose transforms the struggle into something meaningful, turning each challenge into a chance to deepen our commitment. Change is also about learning to listen to ourselves and to the world around us. It is the practice of tuning into our inner voice, which has always known the way, and recognizing when external influences are steering us away from our true path. This listening creates a space for reflection and insight, allowing us to make choices that align with our highest potential. The turning point is not a single event, but a series of moments that gradually shape who we become. It is in choosing to confront discomfort, face fears, and take action that we move forward. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the foundation of change, building a life that reflects our truest aspirations. It is in the act of choosing to move forward, despite the uncertainties, that we harness the power to change not just our circumstances, but ourselves. Chapter 3. The Hidden Power Within. Within each of us lies a source of power that is often overlooked, concealed beneath the surface of our daily routines and unexamined beliefs. This power is not an external force, but an intrinsic part of who we are, a force that can transform our lives when recognized and harnessed. The journey to discovering this hidden strength begins with an awareness of our untapped potential, which is often masked by doubts, fears, and the limitations we impose on ourselves. This power is rooted in the mind. It is shaped by our thoughts, which have the ability to build or break the reality we experience. When we choose to see ourselves through the lens of potential rather than limitation, we open the door to extraordinary capabilities. The greatest achievements in history were not born out of sheer talent alone, but from an unwavering belief in one's ability to overcome, adapt, and grow. This realization comes from understanding that our true potential is not defined by external circumstances, but by our response to them. To tap into this hidden power, one must first learn to quiet the noise of self-doubt. This inner critic, which often manifests as fear or hesitation, can drown out the voice of reason and confidence. Overcoming this requires more than positive thinking. It involves actively challenging the stories we tell ourselves and replacing them with empowering truths. It is in these moments of conscious awareness that we begin to recognize that the limitations we feel are, more often than not, self-imposed. The power within grows when we commit to self-reflection. Through honest evaluation of our strengths and weaknesses, we begin to identify patterns that hold us back. Embracing these truths with compassion and without judgment enables us to move forward with a clearer sense of purpose. The ability to observe ourselves without bias opens the path to personal growth and allows us to act with intention. It is in the moments of reflection that we discover the raw materials of our potential: courage, resilience, and creativity. Connection is another vital aspect of harnessing inner power. While the journey to self-empowerment is deeply personal, it is enriched by our relationships with others. Supportive connections provide encouragement and perspective, reminding us of our capabilities when we are at our lowest. It is through shared experiences and collective wisdom that we come to understand that our true power is not limited to ourselves alone, but is amplified when we work with others. True empowerment arises when we recognize that our growth can inspire and uplift those around us, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves. The hidden power within is also revealed through acts of service and kindness. When we shift our focus from self-centered desires to the well-being of others, we align ourselves with a deeper sense of purpose. This act of transcending the ego releases a surge of energy that fuels our growth and strengthens our resolve. When we give without expectation, we find that our own challenges and limitations often seem smaller in comparison. This shift in perspective helps us harness a strength that is more enduring and resilient. Courage is the bridge between our potential and action. The moments when we choose to step into the unknown, to push past fear, are the moments where our hidden power shines brightest. Each step forward, no matter how small, is an act of defiance against the doubts that hold us back. It is in the acts of bravery, even when they are quiet and unseen, that we reinforce our inner strength and develop an unwavering confidence in our capacity to grow and overcome. The process of uncovering this power is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It involves creating daily habits that foster self-belief and remind us of our worth. Whether through meditation, journaling, or simply taking moments to pause and breathe, these practices keep us connected to the source of our strength. With time, these rituals become second nature, allowing us to navigate life with greater clarity and resilience. Understanding that this power is within each of us fosters a profound sense of freedom. We come to realize that we are not prisoners of our past or our current situations, but active participants in shaping our futures. The hidden power within is the fuel for pursuing our passions, embracing challenges, and finding peace even in tumultuous times. It is a force that, when cultivated, can transform not just our individual lives, but the world around us. Chapter 4. The Voice That Holds You Back. The most formidable barrier to personal growth is often not an external force, but the voice within. This inner voice, shaped by past experiences, fears, and ingrained beliefs, can be a powerful force that dictates our choices and limits our potential. It whispers doubts and recounts failures, convincing us of our inadequacies and shaping our reality with every word. The voice that holds you back thrives on insecurity and feeds off moments of vulnerability, subtly urging you to play it safe, stay small, and avoid the discomfort of change. Identifying this voice is the first step toward reclaiming your power. It manifests as a quiet, persistent reminder of past disappointments or imagined failures, like a shadow that lurks at the edge of your thoughts. It might take the form of self-criticism, projecting thoughts like, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never succeed." Its presence can be so familiar that it feels like an integral part of your identity, but understanding its origin is essential to dismantling its influence. Often this voice was nurtured by experiences during formative years, comments made by others, missed opportunities, or moments of self-doubt that were never challenged. Overcoming the grip of this voice requires conscious action and the cultivation of awareness. Recognizing that these thoughts are not absolute truths, but interpretations of reality, is transformative. You can begin by separating yourself from the voice, observing it as an outsider and noting its patterns. When a negative thought arises, take a moment to pause and acknowledge it without judgment. Ask yourself whether it is serving you or hindering you. Is it trying to protect you from perceived danger, or is it simply reinforcing an outdated story that no longer applies? Challenge the voice by countering its assertions with evidence of your capabilities and past successes. Recall moments when you overcame challenges or took a risk that paid off, however small the victory may have been. Replacing the self-defeating messages with affirmations rooted in reality shifts your mindset. The voice that once told you, "You can't do it," can be replaced with, "I have overcome obstacles before, and I can do it again." This transition is not instantaneous, but requires patience and repetition. Developing resilience involves learning to confront the voice when it reappears. It thrives on avoidance and thrives on inaction, so the antidote is action. Engage in activities that challenge you and step outside your comfort zone, no matter how intimidating it may seem. Each time you push past fear, the voice's power weakens and your self-confidence strengthens. Courage does not mean the absence of fear, but rather the decision to move forward despite it. The influence of this voice can also be mitigated by surrounding yourself with positivity and support. Seek relationships with people who uplift and inspire you, as they can serve as a counterbalance to negative self-talk. The presence of others who encourage you can remind you of your worth and potential, reinforcing the idea that you are not defined by your doubts, but by your actions. These connections can remind you that everyone has their struggles and that growth is a shared experience, not an isolated one. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for recognizing and disempowering the voice that holds you back. Through meditation and intentional awareness, you learn to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in them. By practicing mindfulness, you become better equipped to distinguish between thoughts that empower you and those that don't. Over time, you create a mental space where you are not dominated by this inner voice, but can choose the narrative that propels you forward. Finally, focus on growth-oriented language. When you speak to yourself, choose words that inspire action and self-belief. Instead of saying, "I can't," rephrase it to, "I am learning to." Shift from, "I've failed," to, "I've learned something valuable." The language you use shapes your reality, so by consciously altering the dialogue, you nurture an inner resilience that drowns out the voice that seeks to hold you back. With consistent practice, what once seemed like an overpowering force becomes a distant echo. The voice that holds you back will always be there, but it will no longer command your life. The true power lies in your ability to rewrite the script, taking ownership of your journey and embracing the potential that lies beyond fear. Chapter 5. The Leap into the Unknown. Taking the leap into the unknown is an act of profound courage that many avoid, yet it is in those moments of uncertainty that true growth takes root. It is easy to stay within the confines of comfort, where the predictable nature of life provides a false sense of security. But real transformation lies on the other side of fear, where every step forward feels like stepping off a cliff into a vast, unseen expanse. The journey into the unknown is not just a physical or external act, but a mental and emotional shift that challenges you to transcend the familiar. The mind resists uncertainty. It clings to the known, fearing the disarray and unpredictability that come with venturing into uncharted territory. This resistance is not just a natural reflex. It is a deeply ingrained survival instinct that wants to shield you from potential failure or harm. However, this instinct also blinds you to the possibilities that lie beyond fear. The unknown holds within it the seeds of innovation, the opportunities for profound self-discovery, and the chance to forge new paths that may lead to fulfillment and achievement beyond imagination. Embracing the leap into the unknown requires a shift in perspective. Rather than viewing the unknown as a void filled with dangers and uncertainties, reframe it as a realm brimming with possibilities and the promise of growth. The most accomplished individuals and visionaries have always known that to reach beyond the limits of their current reality, they had to take risks that defied logic and reason. It is in the moments when you push through the barrier of fear and act despite the absence of guarantees that you begin to see what you are truly capable of. The leap into the unknown is not a one-time event, but a series of incremental steps. Each small step, taken with conscious intent, builds the momentum needed to face larger leaps. Start by allowing yourself to embrace discomfort as a sign that you are on the right track. Understand that the feeling of vulnerability is not an indicator of weakness, but a reminder that you are alive and growing. It is in those moments of vulnerability that strength is forged and resilience is developed. Learning to manage the internal dialogue that arises during moments of doubt is also key. As fear takes hold, the mind will produce countless reasons to turn back: past failures, the risk of judgment, or the uncertainty of the outcome. Acknowledge these thoughts, but do not let them govern your actions. Shift your mindset from seeking certainty to accepting the presence of ambiguity and trusting your ability to navigate it. The most transformative growth often comes when you act, not because you have certainty, but because you are willing to move forward despite uncertainty. Support from others can make the leap less daunting. Surround yourself with people who have also dared to step into the unknown and have emerged stronger. Their stories and experiences can serve as a reminder that the path forward, although uncertain, is navigable. Share your aspirations with others and let their encouragement reinforce your belief in your potential. The journey into the unknown is also an opportunity to let go of perfectionism. The pursuit of perfection can be paralyzing, preventing you from taking action. Instead, focus on progress and learning, knowing that mistakes and setbacks are not failures, but part of the growth process. Each misstep offers valuable lessons that shape your path forward and prepare you for even greater challenges. As you stand on the precipice, ready to take that first step into the unknown, remind yourself that fear is often an indicator that you are on the verge of something significant. The decision to move forward transforms the fear from an obstacle into a catalyst for change. Trust in your adaptability and resourcefulness to find your way through the unknown. The path will not always be clear, and the journey will test your patience, resolve, and belief in yourself. But with each step, you move closer to uncovering the potential that resides within you, waiting to be revealed when you dare to take that leap. Chapter 6. Harnessing Momentum. Momentum is more than just a force that propels an object forward. It is an invisible yet powerful energy that can shape the direction of your journey. The moment you start to move, even in the smallest ways, you initiate a cycle that can build upon itself, pushing you further toward your goals. The key lies not just in starting, but in sustaining the motion, allowing each action to feed into the next, creating a chain reaction of progress. In the early stages, it is common to encounter resistance. The mind will push back against change, latching onto the comfort of what is familiar. But once you break through that initial inertia, even the smallest victories can ignite a spark that fuels larger achievements. The secret to harnessing momentum is to recognize these small wins, no matter how insignificant they may seem. These moments are the building blocks of sustained progress. Staying consistent in your efforts is vital. Consistency builds trust in your capabilities and forms a habit that integrates progress into your daily routine. It is the daily actions, however minute, that compound over time to create a force that becomes unstoppable. Consider a stream of water. A single drop may not alter the course of a river, but countless drops can carve out canyons and reshape landscapes. Momentum, like water, can transform obstacles into pathways if maintained. Momentum is not just about pushing forward, it's also about learning to adapt as you move. The path is rarely linear. There will be moments when you encounter detours and roadblocks, but momentum allows you to remain adaptable, finding new ways to keep moving. When challenges arise, those who have cultivated momentum will be equipped to handle them with greater resilience. They view setbacks not as halts, but as opportunities to recalibrate and continue, stronger and more equipped than before. Building momentum also involves recognizing the triggers that sustain your energy. Identify the routines, people, and activities that rejuvenate your drive. These are your sources of reinforcement, ensuring that you can maintain the energy needed to keep progressing. The environment you create for yourself can either bolster or hinder your momentum. Surround yourself with those who inspire action, who push you to stay committed to your purpose and remind you of the progress you have already made. Another crucial element in harnessing momentum is celebrating progress, not in a grand, extravagant way, but in meaningful acknowledgement that gives you a moment to reflect and build confidence. Celebrating milestones reinforces your belief in your abilities and motivates you to tackle the next challenge. It is in these small celebrations that momentum is renewed, providing fuel to keep moving forward. In the pursuit of growth, there will be moments where the initial excitement wanes and the journey feels like it has lost its spark. This is when momentum's true power is tested. To reignite that drive, reconnect with your why, the purpose behind your actions. When the deeper reason for your effort becomes clear, it strengthens the chain reaction, pushing you through moments of doubt and fatigue. Action begets more action, Each step forward feeds into the next, creating a cycle of progress. Harnessing momentum is less about waiting for the perfect moment and more about recognizing that the perfect moment is a product of persistent, purposeful action. It's about taking that initial step, however small, and then refusing to stop once you're in motion. The momentum you build becomes your ally, carrying you to destinations you once only dreamed of reaching. Chapter 7. Building Mental Fortitude. Strength of mind is more than a momentary burst of courage. It is a lasting resolve, an unwavering determination to stand firm even when every circumstance tries to pull you down. Building mental fortitude begins with an inner shift, a commitment to embrace discomfort as an ally rather than a foe. This inner resilience is forged not through the absence of struggle, but through the willingness to face it head-on, transform it, and use it as fuel for greater progress. One of the first steps in cultivating mental fortitude is the practice of setting and maintaining high standards for oneself. These standards, grounded in a clear sense of purpose, become the benchmark against which every action is measured. They offer a reminder that true growth happens in moments of discomfort, and that achieving success is often preceded by periods of doubt. It is during these challenging times that the mind is tested, pushing you to rise above the whispers of insecurity and self-doubt. Adversity, although painful, has a way of sharpening the mind. To develop resilience, one must learn to see setbacks as moments to learn, not as moments of defeat. The ability to reframe failure, viewing it as an integral part of the learning curve, empowers individuals to keep pushing forward, even when results are not immediate. Each setback carries the potential to teach a lesson that mere comfort never could. Mindfulness plays a significant role in nurturing mental fortitude. It allows individuals to acknowledge their thoughts without judgment, distinguishing between fleeting worries and genuine concerns. Through mindfulness, one learns to observe their emotions as they arise, understanding that these emotions are temporary and do not dictate their choices. This clarity of mind helps in making decisions rooted in logic and resilience rather than in fear or impulse. A powerful way to build mental toughness is through the practice of gratitude. Recognizing the value in the present moment, even when faced with challenges, helps cultivate an unwavering sense of balance. This gratitude is not a denial of difficulties. Rather, it acknowledges that even amidst struggles, there is always something to be thankful for. This perspective shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is already abundant, fostering strength and maintaining focus. Another key element in developing fortitude is the ability to maintain composure under pressure. Composure is a skill honed by embracing situations where stress levels are high and stakes feel overwhelming. It is not simply a matter of staying calm, but of responding thoughtfully, strategically, and with resolve. This requires consistent practice in controlled environments and progressively tackling higher levels of stress to build tolerance. Support systems and positive influences also contribute significantly to fortitude. While inner strength is essential, the company we keep impacts our resilience. Surrounding oneself with individuals who uplift, challenge, and inspire fosters an environment where mental growth can thrive. These relationships serve as reminders that persistence, vulnerability, and honesty are not signs of weakness, but of human strength. Lastly, the act of visualizing success and reinforcing positive self-talk establishes a firm foundation for enduring the difficulties that will inevitably arise. Positive reinforcement through mental imagery enables individuals to foresee the outcome they desire and strengthen their resolve to pursue it. This is not about blind optimism, but about fortifying the mind with images of victory and progress that counter the voices of doubt. Building mental fortitude is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. A continual practice of facing challenges with an open mind and a fortified spirit. It is about understanding that the true strength lies not in avoiding obstacles, but in meeting them with unwavering courage and emerging more capable than before. Chapter 8. A different kind of focus. In the pursuit of true growth and transformation, focusing on what truly matters is more than just eliminating distractions. It is an art that demands deeper understanding. Most conventional ideas about focus emphasize single-minded attention toward a specific goal, but true progress often comes from an expanded kind of awareness. This approach involves aligning one's attention with purpose, embracing the subtle interconnections between tasks, and recognizing the unseen patterns that propel achievement. One of the cornerstones of this kind of focus is mindful presence. When one is attuned to the moment without judgment, it creates a space where creativity thrives. In such a state, the mind operates less like a rigid machine and more like a well-tuned orchestra, where different aspects of thought harmonize, giving rise to original solutions and fresh perspectives. To cultivate this, practices such as meditation or deep, purposeful reflection can become powerful tools, sharpening awareness and training the mind to identify moments of genuine potential. True focus also means discerning between noise and signal. In an age where constant notifications and external voices seek to claim attention, understanding what deserves attention is crucial. It is about having the clarity to see beyond superficial goals and identifying those with the substance to nurture deeper growth. This form of discernment involves cultivating inner silence, not as an absence of thought, but as a foundation from which meaningful action springs. To foster this higher level of focus, develop a keen awareness of the emotional responses tied to distractions. Recognizing when the mind seeks refuge in less demanding tasks, or when impulses steer attention away from important work, can guide adjustments in behavior. It is not enough to attempt to block out these forces. Instead, it is essential to see them for what they are: fleeting impulses that lose power when met with conscious observation. An essential element of sustaining this kind of focus is resilience. Challenges are inevitable, and moments of intense difficulty can trigger reactive thoughts that draw attention away. However, with each trial, an individual has the chance to strengthen their capacity for focused thought. Embracing setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures allows the mind to adapt and grow stronger, aligning purpose with action even in turbulent circumstances. Developing this profound kind of focus calls for courage. It means trusting the unseen connections between seemingly unrelated ideas and being willing to take leaps into the unfamiliar. This kind of focus embraces ambiguity, knowing that clarity is born from exploration rather than certainty. Through this mindset, the world shifts from a series of fragmented tasks to a unified pursuit of a greater vision. This form of focus is less about willpower and more about aligning energy with intention. It recognizes that concentration is not an endless well of effort, but a natural state of being that is nurtured by conscious choices. The journey involves choosing to redirect energy away from that which detracts and to invest it in what enhances one's purpose. Such focus doesn't come overnight, but with deliberate practice, it begins to infuse all aspects of life, transforming how we approach challenges, seize opportunities, and realize potential. Chapter 9. Mastering the Inner Game. Mastery of the inner game begins not with the world around us, but with the mind within. It is a journey that requires a deep understanding of the self, the power of thoughts, and the discipline to shape them. It starts with acknowledging the power of perception, how we see ourselves and the challenges we face. The ability to change our perspective can turn obstacles into opportunities, and moments of doubt into moments of clarity. It is an internal shift that lays the foundation for all meaningful progress. Within each of us lies the potential for extraordinary resilience. This resilience is not simply a reaction to external challenges, it is the steady flame that burns even when circumstances are dark. True strength emerges from mastering this inner game, where victories are won not by defeating opponents in the physical world, but by overcoming the self-limiting beliefs and fears that often reside within. It is in these moments that the mind can become either a prison or a source of freedom. Great thinkers have long stressed the importance of focusing inward. The path to self-mastery demands that we confront our internal dialogue, the voice that tells us we are not enough or that we cannot succeed. This voice, often rooted in past experiences or societal conditioning, seeks to keep us within the bounds of what is comfortable and familiar. The true challenge lies in recognizing it for what it is, a fragment of the past that has no claim over the future. Practicing mindfulness and self-awareness becomes essential for those who seek to master the inner game. By creating moments of stillness, we become better equipped to observe our thoughts without judgment. This detachment allows for the identification of negative patterns and the conscious decision to redirect focus. Such practices cultivate a space where we are not defined by our fleeting thoughts or impulses, but by our response to them. This awareness is not passive, it is active, purposeful, and full of intention. The most effective strategies involve not only awareness, but also deliberate practice. This practice can be found in the daily rituals we establish, moments of reflection, setting clear intentions for the day, and reaffirming our purpose. It is in the repetition of small, focused efforts that the inner game is won. Each day presents a new opportunity to strengthen the mind, hone the ability to respond rather than react, and build an unwavering commitment to growth. Adversity, while challenging, can also serve as a profound teacher. It is often through our most difficult trials that we discover our greatest strengths. Confronting and embracing adversity with an unwavering mindset opens the door to the deepest kind of transformation. It is the process of using hardship as a catalyst for growth that leads to a deeper understanding of oneself and a more profound connection with the world around us. Building this kind of inner fortitude requires patience and perseverance. Progress is rarely linear, and moments of setbacks can be as instructive as moments of triumph. They remind us that mastery is not a destination, but an ongoing pursuit. Each struggle is part of the journey, each failure a lesson in disguise. It is in the steady commitment to rise each time we fall that we find the true measure of our inner strength. The practice of gratitude serves as a powerful tool to maintain a positive mindset. Recognizing even the smallest victories and being thankful for the lessons learned can shift the focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. This subtle shift can enhance resilience and strengthen the resolve to keep moving forward despite the difficulties encountered along the way. Finally, it is essential to understand that mastering the inner game is not an isolated pursuit, but one that impacts every aspect of life. As the mind grows stronger, so too does the capacity to handle external challenges. The calm, confident state that comes from mastering the self radiates outward, influencing interactions and decisions, and creating a life that is more aligned with true potential. Chapter 10. The Rise Beyond Limits. The essence of transcending boundaries begins with acknowledging that limits are often self-imposed, stemming from the narratives we tell ourselves. This chapter explores how to break free from these barriers and reach a level of achievement that surpasses conventional expectations. The path to greatness is not just marked by moments of achievement, but by the relentless pursuit of pushing past comfort and embracing discomfort as a catalyst for growth. What sets apart those who achieve extraordinary results is not an absence of fear, but their ability to move forward despite it. The greatest minds and innovators of history faced moments where the logical path would have been to retreat, but they chose instead to step into the unknown, forging new paths. This courage is not born overnight. It is nurtured through small acts of defiance against the voice that whispers limitations. Each step taken in the face of doubt builds a resilience that fuels future endeavors. The journey is also defined by the understanding that external limitations are rarely the true barriers. Rather, it is the internal resistance that holds the greatest power to hinder progress. To rise beyond what one believes is possible requires cultivating an unwavering commitment to vision. This vision must be reinforced daily through deliberate actions and reinforced by a mindset that treats failure not as a setback, but as a lesson that sharpens skills and steers one toward better outcomes. This chapter also highlights the importance of community and collaboration. Few significant breakthroughs are accomplished alone. The exchange of ideas, constructive feedback, and the shared experience of overcoming challenges contribute to the collective strength needed to achieve more. Building a network that encourages and holds one accountable can accelerate the ascent beyond ordinary limitations. Strength comes not just from individual willpower, but from the power of shared determination and mutual growth. Those who rise beyond limits understand the delicate balance between pushing forward and knowing when to pause. This isn't just about relentless pursuit, but about strategic alignment with one's deeper purpose. Mastery is found in cultivating moments of silence and reflection to recalibrate, ensuring that each step taken is intentional and directed toward meaningful progress. Success that transcends boundaries isn't just about personal accolades. It becomes a beacon that inspires others to challenge their own ceilings. This becomes a cycle where breaking through personal limitations creates ripples, motivating a larger movement that seeks to redefine what is achievable. True greatness, then, is not only in personal victories, but in the lasting impact that lifts others and reshapes what is collectively seen as possible. As you journey through this chapter, ask yourself, what stories have I been telling myself about my potential? What would happen if I chose to rewrite them, setting my sights higher and embracing the discomfort that comes with it? The rise beyond limits isn't just an aspiration, it's a choice to continually step into the unknown, embrace growth, and redefine boundaries with each passing day. Chapter 11. Living Unstoppable. Living an unstoppable life requires more than just a desire for success. It demands a commitment to inner strength and an unwavering determination to stay the course, no matter what obstacles appear. True resilience is not born from the absence of challenges, but from the ability to move forward despite them. It is the willingness to rise each time you are knocked down, with an understanding that setbacks are merely temporary and that growth emerges from facing adversity head-on. Those who live unstoppable lives learn to master their responses to pressure and adversity. They recognize that while external factors may influence their circumstances, it is the internal response that ultimately determines the trajectory of their lives. This awareness transforms every challenge into a stepping stone, every failure into a lesson that sharpens their focus and determination. In the pursuit of an unstoppable life, the journey itself becomes the destination, one that is marked not by the elimination of obstacles, but by the courage to face them and the wisdom gained along the way. Central to living an unstoppable life is the art of embracing discomfort. It is not about seeking out suffering, but rather accepting that growth exists outside the comfort zone. Each moment of discomfort holds the potential for profound transformation, provided there is the courage to confront it. The pursuit of greatness is not an easy path. It is one where each decision to move forward is a defiance against the voices of doubt and hesitation. It is about understanding that true progress is born when one commits to acting, even when the path ahead is unclear. Building mental and emotional fortitude is crucial in maintaining an unstoppable mindset. This resilience comes not only from personal achievements, but from an unwavering belief in the value of effort itself. By cultivating habits that reinforce perseverance, individuals train their minds to remain calm and focused under pressure. Visualization and positive self-talk can strengthen mental defenses, helping to turn fleeting moments of doubt into powerful catalysts for motivation. An essential part of living an unstoppable life is knowing that success is rarely an isolated act. It is in shared experiences, in the strength of community, that real momentum is created. When like-minded individuals come together, they amplify each other's strengths, providing support that transcends what any one person could achieve alone. Networking, mentorship, and collaboration form the bedrock of a collective determination that propels each member toward their full potential. The lessons learned from others' successes and failures can shorten the path and create new opportunities for growth. Continuous self-reflection ensures that progress is aligned with deeper values. To live a life that cannot be stopped, one must regularly evaluate whether actions are consistent with a greater purpose. It is in moments of quiet introspection that clarity is found, a chance to step back, reassess, and ensure that momentum is directed in the right course. This practice of reflection isn't just about correcting course. It is about nurturing gratitude for how far one has come and finding motivation for the path ahead. Those who live with an unstoppable spirit do not simply endure. They thrive, even in the face of uncertainty. They learn to cherish moments of triumph while remaining aware that success is fleeting, if not nurtured and sustained. It's about creating a cycle of perpetual growth, where each victory inspires another challenge. Each step forward spurs greater ambition. This mindset fuels a life that is rich with achievement and meaningful progress. Embracing an unstoppable way of living means choosing to act, even when fear is loud and doubt lingers. It's knowing that perfection is not the goal, perseverance is. It's understanding that your journey is unique and no one can walk it for you. And when you look back at the challenges you have overcome, the strength you've built, and the obstacles you've conquered, you will see that an unstoppable life isn't defined by the absence of difficulties, but by the determination to keep moving forward, day after day. Conclusion. As the path unfolds and the last words resonate, it becomes clear that the journey isn't bound by pages or chapters, but carried forward in every decision and action. It is in those quiet moments, when doubt whispers louder than courage, that the foundation laid throughout this journey is most tested. What has been learned here isn't just theory. It's the pulse of resilience, the essence of unwavering resolve, and the spark of audacious hope that pushes boundaries. The challenges faced and the battles won have not only crafted a new understanding, but a new version of self. Life, with its uncharted course and its endless potential, waits for the bold to reach beyond the ordinary, to live with purpose, and to embrace the unknown with an open heart. The strength and wisdom gathered in each chapter are more than mere lessons. They are the silent assurances that the power to live unstoppable lies within. The path to greatness is never without its obstacles, yet it is these very obstacles that sculpt greatness from within. As the story comes to rest, remember that the real journey begins now, with each step taken forward, embracing the lessons, facing the uncertainties, and choosing to live with a fierce resolve. And so, the greatest chapter is not in what has been read or what has been said, but in what lies ahead, a life lived truly, deeply, and beyond limits.